Hey guys, Dana Donofree back. I'm the CEO and founder of Ana Ono, and we make beautiful recovery garments for women that are undergoing breast reconstruction and or living their lives with breast cancer and have one boob, two boobs, or no boobs at all. So joining me today is my dear friend, Sofia. She's not only just a friend, she's also a breast cancer patient and survivor, and one of our incredible models from New York Fashion Week 2020, Fearless. So, Sofia, thank you so much for joining me today to share your story and everything that you've been through. And I just love seeing your face even all the way in Portugal. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So let's start out. Tell us a little bit about what your diagnosis was, how long ago. Let's do the stats first.
Sure. So I was diagnosed, I found out and I was diagnosed in May 2014. At the time I was living in South Carolina, in Columbus, South Carolina. And my first reaction was not the best one, as you know, no one wants to hear that you got breast cancer. So my oncologist right away wanted to first go through chemo and then surgery and then perhaps radiation. And when I found out that I was stage 2 triple negative, and realized, how triple negative was so aggressive, I right away, and having also had my mom who had breast cancer, hers was triple positive, I right away just told him I want to first do surgery, which that's exactly what we did. So I first did surgery and I decided to go flat. I wasn't even thinking, I did not even do much research. I just wanted the tumor out of my body, and that's all I cared about at the time. And then after that, we went through chemo and we did not do radiation because there was nothing to radiate.
So did you go flat on one side or did you have both removed?
I did, yes, I did have both removed. So I went flat on both sides. Yes.
And you said your mother had breast cancer. Did you test positive for a genetic mutation? Or?
I did not. No, I did not.
And how old were you when you got diagnosed?
I mean, I had actually done it even before, 2 or 3 years before, and before I found out I had breast cancer, and everything came out negative. So I was, in my mind at the time, not knowing that there were different types of breast cancer, thinking, oh, I'm not going to worry about that. Well, you never know.
So how old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was 46 years old.
And how many beautiful babies do you have?
I have 2 gorgeous girls who are now, well, at the time they were 16 and 6, and now they are almost 6 years older. Yeah.
So how old was your mom when she was diagnosed?
My mom was, I believe, around close to 50, 48 years old, approximately 15. Yeah.
So what we're talking about is breast reconstructive surgeries are now considered non-essential surgeries during our current crisis of COVID-19. But also there's a potential that some breast surgeries are going to be downsstaged for those that are getting newly diagnosed. I would love to hear your opinion and insight. What was it like for you? You made a decision right away, right? You said, get the tumor out, get it off of me. I don't care about anything else. Get it out. I think that's a super common reaction. That was my reaction. Whatever you have to do, get the tumor out. I'll figure the rest out later. So for you were just in action mode. You're a mother. You've got 2 beautiful daughters at home. You're in South Carolina. You're far away from home, even though, you were living here in the States. What then, as you were living your life flat for a few years, what led to you to take other surgical paths or to get the reconstruction? Tell me a little bit about, okay, now you're done with treatment, now you're into life. What does that feel like?
The first year actually I was totally fine, but I was also in the whole mode of taking care of myself and going through treatment. So I did not even worry about being flat, and it didn't even faze me. Truthfully, the first time I came back here to Portugal on holidays, going to the beach, having swimsuit on, and having the inserts keep on coming out, and that's when I start, or even having a TED talk like I have now. That's when I really start realizing that it might sound mundane, but I wanted to feel a bit more whole, I guess, as a woman. Even though, of course, I would not have the nipples or any, I mean, I could have had also the reconstruction with nipples, but I decided not to. And instead I did a 3D nipple tattoo, and I love it. So, and it's great because, it helps me. If anything, more than not, I'm happy that I actually did not do the reconstruction right away, because if not, I would have always wondered, what if? So I was able to, in a way, get both feelings and really understand, yes, that is what I wanted to do. Secondly, because of the fact that I had more time to think about it, I really shopped around for a good surgeon that I felt comfortable with. And go through, I did kind of interview, in a way, a few different surgeons, and there was one that I really felt very comfortable with. I liked his work, so I really gave myself 100% trust in him, and I think that's also very important. So there are good things about waiting in my mind. First, to see how comfortable or not you feel, and secondly, then you have a little bit more time to really see what you want or not to do. Same thing even with a nipple. At the beginning I was, shall I not? And then after I saw so many different 3D nipple tattoo, and I loved it. And then I was lucky enough to find an amazing tattoo artist that did it on me, and it made me forget about having the scars. Yeah. So that's, I feel good about myself right now, and I'm really happy that it was delayed. I'm happy that I took the time to rethink well about my next steps.
I think that that's such a huge takeaway, because I don't think what we're taught kind of in this process of like running, trying to get our surgery treatments and our chemo and our meds and all of these things figured out, that we don't have to do reconstruction right away. It's not required at the phase of the mastectomy. It's something that you can decide 6 months later, 5 years later, 10 years later. Like, there's always the option to do it. And I think that that's such a beautiful way that you said, like, you got time to settle in to your new life. You had time to settle into the loss of your breasts, and you had time to look around and find the right surgeon for you. I mean, that in itself is actually incredibly valuable.
Yeah, it was actually almost 3 years later that I ended up doing the surgery, the reconstruction. So, and I'm glad. Looking back, I don't think I would have done anything differently. I'm glad I took the steps that I did.
Well, I'm gonna add a little tidbit of information, considering that I think you might be the only person that has ever emailed me and like, could you make your swim bottoms a little smaller? Like, okay, European vacationer. Why, if I must. So let's talk about the physical. Can you explain a little bit, what was it like being flat and now deciding to reconstruct? What sort of process did you go through then from a surgical and physical standpoint?
Again, the first year I was totally fine. I accepted myself. I accepted my body being flat. It was, again, swimsuit time. I felt that, okay, something is missing here. And perhaps because I do come from a culture where, having small bikinis, having small swimsuits, you can't really have something small up here around the breast area if, you have the inserts. Of course, I could have gone flat. But that's, again, some people might say, it sounds kind of crazy. I mean, it's just boobs. And yes, it is just boobs. No, it's just boobs. But it just didn't feel really like the clothes fit better. It made me feel more like a woman again. So again, first year, I was totally fine. Second year, summer came. It was a little bit harder. And then between the second and third year, it was the shopping around, talking. So, that whole excitement about, what is it going to look like? How am I going to feel? So I was already entering a phase that I knew that I was sooner or later getting my boobs. So I was excited. So the time of really feeling down about it was minimal.
And did you have to do expanders to then re-stretch out the skin for the implant?
Yes.
And
yes,
how long were you in the expanders?
I started, I'm trying to remember, I believe I started around November or December time, and it was around my older daughter's birthday, so around March time that I got the final surgery. So it was not much, it was 3-4 months.
Okay,
So
so you had the expanders in for 3 or 4 months and then had the exchange
yes,
surgery.
yes, exactly, yes. So it really was not that bad. It hurts, you know, of course the skin stretching a little bit. And as my daughter said, it felt like, you know, the syringe was like one of those turkeys.
The turkey baster.
Just, you know, stuffing, exactly.
Yeah.
So we always had to figure out a way to have fun with all of these. But now it was actually not as bad as I thought. It was pretty easy.
And
Yeah.
so let's wrap this up with, I love asking people, what, if you could say anything to somebody who's newly diagnosed, who just got the call from their surgeon or their plastic surgeon to say, we're going to have to postpone your surgery. What would be your words of wisdom that you would share with that patient?
There's always a silver lining. So take it as a blessing, perhaps, because it might be the right solution for you anyway, and it will give you time to really think through well, and afterwards find the right surgeon that you feel comfortable with. So there's always silver lining for everything in my life.
It's beautiful. I totally agree. And sometimes just digging deep to find that, especially right now with all of the craziness that we're all being subject to, you know, there will be something that will surface out of this. So, all right, this is it. We're going to wrap up with Sofia. What does it mean to you? What does never alone mean to you?
The support we get from this whole community, the support. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I know that when I was diagnosed at 27, I felt very isolated and very alone because I never met another woman that was under the age of 50 for a very long time. And that is why, you know, we say with Ana Ona, you're never alone. And I'm so, so thrilled that you are my friend, that you are an inspiration, and that you are so willing to share your story with us today. So thank you, Sofia. We love you. We miss you. Please take care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And same.
Bye, baby.
Bye.